All right, what's going on, y'all? Sorry, I started a little late, but we are here now. I got Deryk Moates with me. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Derek, as you said. I'm just engineer, producer. I do mixes for local artists outside. I live about 40 minutes outside of Detroit at the moment. Do mixes and editing for local artists, produce, and done some things for some people here and there, little ghost producing projects. I got one that I can't really talk about. I'm trying to get into that more, but anyway, yeah,
It's always good when you're into the projects that you can't talk about.
yeah. For the first time ever, it feels good. But I can't ever talk about it, so it's
As y'all know,
kind
we're here to discuss the products that was announced at NAMM this year, and we're gonna start it off with normally before NAMM, we started to hear some announcements. So first up was the Waves chips 73 that is Waves always does plugins, kind of comes out of nowhere. Um, I've been
of.
using it since it came out, and it has very quickly became a go-to for me. I've always Neve stuff. I hear so much about Neve this, Neve that. I never had any Neve plugins, and tried this one from Waves, and I'm blown away with it. And it's like it's quickly become one of my go-to. You had a chance to use it yet?
You know what? I downloaded the demo 2 nights ago. I haven't installed it yet, but I've heard really good stuff about it. I've heard that it's like I don't know, I've heard a lot of people saying recently Waves has kind of been falling behind with Slate and UAD pushing the envelope pushing the envelope and everything. But people are saying this Sheps now Waves is starting to step it back up again because they're saying it sounds really good, especially the preamp emulation itself, like not just the EQ. Because I'm convinced the V Series 73 wasn't really modeled as far as the preamp. I think they just put some saturation in there and a little noise and more modeled the EQ curves. I'm not positive, but because this one sounds a lot better from what I've heard. I'm gonna load it tonight.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree that I think they did just the EQ section. I mean, the Sheps is just it goes beyond the EQ and the preamp, and I've already used the mid side. Even just monitoring, you can monitor mono with it. It's a lot more than just a EQ plugin. Oh, and the drive on it is great too. A mix I did last week, I actually used the drive on all the guitars in the mix, and it sounded great.
Yeah, like I watched all the videos, so I got a little taste of what it sounds like, but you know how that is. It's always a different story once you get it at home or in the studio. So yeah, I'm excited to try it out.
One of the things that really stood out to me about is that if I make a 2 dB cut or boost, I mean I really hear it, and normally that only happens to me with analog EQs, with hardware EQs. I tend to push or pull them a little bit less and get more results. Where plugins, I feel like I've got to push more. Like on a analog EQ, I may do a 3 dB boost, whereas on a plugin, I got to do 6 dB. But with that Sheps, a dB or two makes a huge difference with it.
Yeah, that's how I feel about those Duende plugins now, but that's a whole other story.
Definitely. The second thing we got here on the list is the Rupert Neve 551. I am definitely purchasing one of those. I've waited on that EQ, and it's funny is that I saw Neve at Summer NAMM here in Nashville, and I I hinted at, kind of asked him about, hey, where's the EQ? Because just for that Portico series, they've got the pre-compressor, they got a compressor, they got the tape. They didn't have an EQ. So I was like, where's the EQ? And he hinted that they had one coming. And he told me it was going to be a kind of a best of, where they were mixing the 1064 and doing different on the mid and high bands and low bands. And then the Shelford series was announced, and I was like, what is this? This isn't 500 series. And so now that they took that Shelford series and reduced it down to the 500 series, I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, that looks like a bad boy. That's
one of the things about the 1073 that I've always disliked is that it only goes up to 12K, and I like to have more range than that in my high end. And this E51, it goes up to 16K. Well, it's got an 8K and 16K switch. So this, I mean, I looked at it. Even the set frequencies on there are frequencies that I use. Yeah, I'm gonna be picking one of those up real soon.
Is that a brand new design?
It's from what I understand, it's the Shelford series, but without the high voltage. The Shelford series has its own power supply, which gives it more voltage. But other than that, from what I understand, it's the same. It's the same thing. They don't want to. I already heard someone call it a kind of a remake of the 1073 for the 500 series, and that's not what it is at all. What they've basically done is taken the low end from one Neve, the mid band from another, and the high from another, and kind of, as the guy told me at Summer NAMM, made a greatest hits of Neve EQ.
That sounds cool.
And then it's also really inductor too. So I've got the radio Q3, which is an inductor EQ. So I'm starting to like inductor EQs.
I've never used one.
Yeah, the Q3 is pretty cool, but I have now wanted more control, because the Q3 is all presets. The preset 1 is I think let's say a 12K shelf. Preset 2 is another bell curve at maybe 8K. But you can't dial in exactly what you want with the Q3. You just, as you go through the presets, it's just different settings. But I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But when it works, it's great.
Yeah, kind of like a Pultec type deal.
Right. Yeah. Pultec is inductor too. Let's see. Next thing we got here is the API 8-slot lunchbox. This came out of nowhere. I was wondering if it was going to replace the 6-slot lunchbox, because they're both the same price. But it appears that that's not the case. It looks like you're going to have a choice between the 6-slot and the 8-slot. The main difference between it that I see is that the 6-slot has XLR connections on the back, as well as D-sub. The 8-slot only has D-sub. And the 8-slot also has linking switches on the back. I do know the 6-slot is automatically linked. The side-by-side is linked already. But that kind of it's a nice sleek black too. It's like API isn't going away from their standard black and blue colors, but instead of the blue, they're doing a more black stuff, it seems like now. If you look at the new 500 series pieces from API, the 505 and I think the 565, the notch filter, they've got a little different design than the other 500 series from API. So I'm kind of digging the new design on it there, and I'm going to be getting one of these 8-slot lunchboxes too. I will also say too that it's the same size, or it appears to be the same size as the 6-slot. If you look at a picture of the 6-slot and the 8-slot, you can kind of see where the other 2 slots would be in the 6-slot. So they look to me to be the same size, which is still great. You're not increasing any size there with it. But it looks really cool to me. Everybody's still coming out with 500 series racks. I was a little shocked to see this one, but I will say after I filled up my first 6-slot lunchbox, I was wishing for 2 more slots.
I bet.
I mean, the
You know,
whole
I wonder if they just like slimmed down the size of the power supply and extended it or something. Because it is the same size. It has to be to fit in a rack, right?
yeah, and it was really well, not like really weird, but I do notice that I don't see a power button on the front or back of it. So I'm wondering if it even has a power switch, or maybe I just haven't seen it. But it's definitely not one on the front that I see, and that doesn't appear to be one on the back, and it's definitely not going to be on the side, I wouldn't think. But I'll be curious to get my hands on one and see one up close. But I mean, the whole 6-slot thing was kind of weird because as engineers, I mean, we always do things in 4, 8, 16.
Yeah.
The 6 was just kind of a weird. This is a weird number for me, so I'm really excited to see the 8-slot now.
How do you feel about the D sub?
I can deal with that, and a reason being, I just purchased some D subs for my 6-slot last month, so I got my lunchbox now D subbed to my patch bay, so I just patch in my modules now. With just having the D sub on the back for that, because really what I'm gonna do with this next lunchbox is I'm gonna likely rack it, so the D sub isn't gonna be a problem at all. I'm gonna get an Alicia X filter, like I said, the knee VQ. I'm gonna probably move the knee VQ to my 6-slot and put my API 560 into this 8-slot. So basically, the stuff that I track with, I'm gonna keep in the 6-slot, and that's gonna be more portable. Whereas the 8-slot will be stuff that I use on bus that I'm not gonna really be taking with me. So for me, the D sub isn't a problem. I can see it being a problem, or not really a problem, but just something you would have to consider if you're getting a lunchbox to use for if you've got an inbox or a 2-channel interface. You're really not going to need connections in.
Yeah. For somebody like you could probably take what you have and fill it and utilize all that D sub right off the bat and utilize the other one however you want or whatever.
Well, I guess what next would be interesting if they came out with like a 2-slot one. They did. I do remember seeing a 2-slot one that they used to make. It was the 2-slot, kind of like the Empirical Labs one or the A Designs one, where it was just like a 1U 2-rack space. But I don't know. I was never into those because I'm like, I don't want to tilt my head to look at the module if it wasn't designed.
Yeah, that's always kind of. That's the thing about those A Designs ones. They're all, the modules are always built to be up and down.
Right. I mean, I think, Empirical Labs is the only people I've really seen who's done modules both ways. Maybe, I don't know how much internals you would have to change for that. Maybe it's just changing the faceplate. I don't know, but, Empirical Labs has shown that it can be done.
Yeah. Oh, so you mean they have, like, the same unit and you can choose?
Right, yeah.
Wow, that's cool. I never knew that.
Yeah, if you look up the, I think they're a de-esser, but I know for a fact the Doctor can go vertical or horizontal. You can.
Yeah, they probably just print the plate differently.
Yeah. Let's see. Next thing we got on here to discuss, the Apollo Twin. So UA is known for dropping stuff in NAMM, so this, the announcement itself shouldn't have been a surprise because we all knew UA was coming out with something new. The Apollo, it fits a need for them in the smaller interface market. So I think it's going to be a good product for them, and it's something that I feel they needed. What do you think about it?
I think this one's big because I know people. I've had like 3 or 4 people tell me specifically, like, I wish they'd make a 2-channel Apollo. I'd get one right now. And as soon as they got it, I mean, I got 3 friends that went out and bought one the first day they came out.
So they're already shipping?
Oh yeah, they're at Guitar Center. They're everywhere right now.
Mm.
And the new technology is really cool. They call it Unison, the Unison technology. I don't know if you've seen anything about that.
I watched their promotional video on it.
Yeah, they have a new update for the console application, and there's an actual new insert box on every mic pre channel. And you can go into that insert box and you can select a different emulation of a preamp. And right out of the box will come in with this next update. All Apollo users will get it. You get the 610 preamp emulation for free. So you get one preamp emulation right off the bat for free. And it even has the shelving EQs on it, which is pretty cool. But it's cool because you insert it like a plug-in in its own slot. And the unison part of it is basically as you turn your preamp knob up on the Apollo, the knob on the plug-in will actually turn with it. It's as if they're like linked together. So, and it's you know the closest you can get to a software emulation with hardware control as far as the mic preamp, you know. So it's pretty cool. And judging by their API channel strip, the preamp emulation on that is incredible. So I'm excited to try this.
So they modeled, or okay, say it again. The API. I know about the API channel strip. You said there's a pre on it as well.
Yeah, the Vision channel strip. They actually modeled the preamp section also. Like it's even broke up in different sections like a real one. And I can't remember the actual 50 number, but it's like, you know, if you would buy the real preamp unit, it's modeled in there, and it's incredible. Like, you can turn it up just that say you throw it on a kick drum, you can turn just that preamp up to about 4, 5, 6 o'clock, and you're good. You don't need no EQ, like, not every time, but I've done it, you know, and it's just numerous times on numerous things. You just give it that preamp, and it's like, wow, that's all I needed. It's that good. And a lot of people's been saying the same thing. I'm Pensado students and everything. They're just loving that. But the downfall is it's definitely you're paying for it because you need a duo card just to run 8 instances, and then that's it. You load 8 of those channel strips, your card is full. So, you know, if you got an octo card, you can run, you know, 32 of them. Or no, 16 of them. So, with 2 octo cards, you know, you can keep stacking them, but yeah, if you got cards like that, you can use them, but I see where they're going with it, because while you're tracking, you know, you can go ahead and throw them on the Apollo console on the input, and it's damn near like having, well, I don't want to say like having real ones, but it's as close as you can get to having real ones, I'd say. And on the way in with your Apollo, I think that's where they're going with it. I don't think they meant for them to be used as much in the DAW unless you have like 3 octo cards. But
that's crazy. And we were before we started, we were talking about the price of them. So the solo one is $6.99 and the duo is $8.99.
$8.99.
So at those prices, we're more than other two-channel interfaces out there. And as you also brought up, it's right there at the price of the satellite as well.
Yeah.
What do you see the future of the satellite going with both of these at the same price?
I don't think it's gonna go because it's such a good product. Like, you know, you can take it on the go, you can expand your system with it. But I definitely see possibly the price dropping because I don't see too many people paying 800 for 800 for the satellite Duo, and then when you can buy the Duo Apollo Twin for $899. And truth be told, you know, here soon you can probably be able to get them for $799 somewhere. You know how that goes.
And basically, because the Twin will basically be the same thing as a satellite, with converters with the interface built onto it.
Yeah, the Duo version is. But I like how they came out with that solo version because with only 2 pre's, you know, you can use a couple channel strips worth of stuff on the way in just with a solo card. I don't know if you're going to be mixing much with it, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't that would be really limited to
Yeah.
for mixing.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, this said they had I remember in the video that they were asking about being able to link them, and I guess they said that was coming. So, you know, I guess if you already own a satellite and then you get this, you know, you could link them together somehow for extra power.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You can I have one here. You can link them, like you can plug a Duo right in the back of your Apollo. It even has extra FireWire ports for it. Especially if you have a Thunderbolt interface for your Apollo, your once that's in use, your FireWire ports turn into a hub, and you can chain as many, or I don't know if as many as you want, but I'm pretty sure it's up to 4 satellites you can chain and expand, and they just all work together as DSP.
So I haven't looked at the back of the Twins. Is the Twin just Thunderbolt only?
I think it has FireWire. I'm pretty sure.
Let's take a look. We'll say it is when these 2-channel interfaces are all in a way kind of looking similar. They've all got the silver, you know, the Forte, the Focusrite,
the big knob.
Let's see here. It is Thunderbolt. No, it's just Thunderbolt.
Really?
It's interesting. It's got an optical in.
I wonder if Thunderbolt's interchange. I know you can go FireWire to Thunderbolt. I wonder if you could go Thunderbolt to FireWire with that.
I like that on Sweetwater site. If you go to the picture of the back of it, and you just hover the mouse over Thunderbolt, a little pop-up comes up and says Thunderbolt, much faster than FireWire 800 or USB 3.0 connectivity. Let me see what it says with this optical. Digital input, 8-channel light pipe, or 2-channel SPDIF.
Yeah. That's another thing. It has 8 channels of ADAT on it, so you're not, you know, completely limited to the 2 channels as far as the Apollo conversion. You are, but you know, you could hook something else up there and record some drums or whatnot.
Yeah, that is true. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and not to cut you off, those once you hook, say you hook an 8-channel ADAT rack up to it, even though it's not Apollo conversion, you can still run those channels through the console application and use all the UAD plugins and zero latency on the way in still. So that's pretty cool.
That's really cool. I mean, I can't think off the top of my head another two-channel or portable interface that has light pipe on it.
Yeah.
Or that.
Yeah, that's what I always wished when I used to have an M-Box Pro. I always wished it had ADAT, but
I mean, they need to.
They didn't even put ADAT on their the Omni, the HD Omni.
We're not even going to go there, right? So I forgot who. I can't remember who it was had recommended one when I was looking for a new interface, and it took me all but, I don't know, 20 seconds for me to say, nope, this isn't it.
Yeah. Or it's something like it does have ADAT, but you can't use it simultaneously with the onboard I/O. It's something stupid like that.
Yeah, I was like, that's okay. I briefly looked at them. Yeah, that UA needs to market this optical in.
Yeah,
and man, they need to, I didn't know about that till I just flipped it over and looked at the back here.
And it's SPDIF interchangeable,
Mm-hmm.
apparently. If you need SPDIF rather than ADAT.
Let's see.
I've never seen that. I don't even know exactly how that would work as of yet.
Mm-hmm. So we've got next thing we got up is Zoom TAC2, which I just found out stands for Thunderbolt audio converter.
Yeah.
A 2-channel, 2 in, 2 out, another Thunderbolt interface. It looks similar, like I said, to the Twin. You got one knob design. I don't know if this is their first interface. I know, of course, it's their first Thunderbolt interface. You know, when I think of Zoom, I think of handheld recorders. But for $3.99, it's not bad for a 2-channel, you know, portable Thunderbolt interface.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to expect as far as the you know, conversion and mic pre.
Yeah. That's when you know, you start looking at the Apollo again, and it's like for $300 more, top of the line conversion, 2 pretty damn good pre's, the zero latency, you know, a solo card. I don't know. I think they priced the Apollo Twin pretty damn well.
And then if you look at what else is in the kind of competition with this too, is that I forget the price of it. You take a look, the Focusrite Forte, which I think is $3.99 too, and which was $4.99. So they're beating out Focusrite there.
Yeah.
Interesting. It'd be interesting to see how these do, because like I said, you don't really think of audio interfaces when you think of Zoom, but they definitely have a presence in pro audio, though. I mean, people know who they are, so it'll be.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens with that, because I don't see. It seems like a more higher end type product to me, almost $500 for a 2-channel. I'd expect that to be pretty decent, and I just don't see people going to Zoom when they want something closer to higher end. But who knows? If it's good, it's good, you know.
Yeah. And these early, I guess I mean, it's been other Thunderbolt you know, interfaces out there now. I think we're gonna, you know, of course, over the next few years see more and more. But do you feel like getting a Thunderbolt interface now? Do you feel like you are a early adopter to Thunderbolt? Do you think Thunderbolt is past its early adoption stage?
You know what? I don't know, because with Thunderbolt 2 already out, you know, it's like, are we going to see Thunderbolt 2 interfaces in 6 months? You know, to a year?
'Cause, I mean, we
Do we
got
even need that? You know, I don't know. I mean, I think you'd be good for a long time if you bought a Thunderbolt interface right now. I'd say that.
I'm waiting for the bigger ones to come out. I don't want to pay a $500 add-on just to use Thunderbolt. Like, go ahead and build it in. I mean, your interface
Yeah.
is gonna your interface is gonna rack and sit there. So I'm
Yeah, I like how
good.
they're giving it for free with the Apollo right now. I don't know how long they're doing that, but if you buy one at the moment, you get a free Thunderbolt card.
You gotta see all the. I'm not gonna say all of them, but the people who have gone Thunderbolt so far have been what I would call high-end companies. Apogee, Lynx, UA. Just off the top of my head that I can think of, all have Thunderbolt connectivity now.
Yeah. Yeah, everything's going Thunderbolt. Apple. I was just looking at the new Macs last night, and like we were talking about last night, they don't even have an Ethernet port anymore. You got to get an Ethernet to Thunderbolt adapter to hook up Ethernet.
You know Apple's gonna push it.
And to me, it's just like, somebody that does what we do. It's like you buy a new Mac, you might as well buy some type of hub right along with it.
Right.
Because you're going to need, either that or you're going to have 5 different little adapters hanging off of it.
Let's see. We'll move on to the next we have here is the Manly Core. I'm really excited to see this come out because, and now I'm even more excited because I just pulled it up on Sweetwater site and I see it's $2,000.
Really?
I thought that it was $2,500. I could have swore.
I had thought it'd be like $5,000.
But the Manly stuff. Yeah, their stuff is high. However, I've spoken to them the last few years at Sweetwater at Gear Fest, and they've always hinted at coming with a new product. They killed off the Langevin or Longevin, however you want to say it, line, which was their solid state stuff. And I heard they're going to rebrand it as Manly, which is kind of weird to me because I kind of like the way they were doing it with the Longevin all solid state and the Manly stuff all tube. They also told me that they were trying to get their prices down. And now that I see this is at 2,000, I see that now. Those who haven't seen the Core, it's it's kind of a greatest hits of Manly gear, all in a rack mount channel strip. It's their tube pre from their I think it's called the TNT. The compressor I think is from the ELOP. The EQ section is from the Massive Passive. And I think there's a FET limiter on the end too. It's a full tube channel strip. Even at 2,500, I would have thought that would be fair. So this is, for Manly gear, to me, priced aggressively at 2,000. To me, this is going to go up against something like the Avalon 737.
For sure.
Which has been around for forever. So it's kind of good to see something come and kind of help battle the Avalon in that place with pre-compressor EQ full channel strip like that of that quality. What do you think about the Core?
Man, this thing looks incredible. I seen it. I watched the NAMM video. I can't remember which one I watched, but Yeah, I assumed it would be no less than 3,500, and I was drooling, but it was one of them things where I'll never have it for a good, at least not in the near future.
Right.
So I kind of blew it off, but now at that price, I'm kind of excited about it. This thing has a compressor and a limiter. Like,
And,
wow, for 2 grand.
and yeah, for Manly, that's pretty crazy. I could have swore that video said 2,500. If Sweetwater made it a mistake, I guess we better buy it now.
Yeah. Oh, it does say sale price. I don't know if it's a sale or intro sale or something.
uh, yeah, the retail says 2250, so that's still um more. I mean, that's still less than
Yeah.
what I thought I heard on the.
Yeah. Looks like it's gonna be two.
Um, and I'm curious of how much it weighs because I almost bought a 737. I rented a 737 from Blackbird and I loved it. But the only problem was it was heavy as hell. So lugging it around studio to studio, that's when I said, man, I can't. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna do this. And with tube gear too. I don't know. I just don't want to be transporting tube gear like that. Uh,
Yeah, man. Not to go off topic, but we bought a 610 Mark II. I don't know if I told you last night, but I think it got damaged in shipping. But
oh
that's
yeah, yeah. He says making the crackling sound.
yeah, it's not right. But so yeah, tube stuff definitely is delicate. But I'll say one thing, that unit's not heavy. It's fair. I was surprised at how light it was.
You
But it
got
looked
you got the solo one with the handle on it.
no, it's the LA 610 Mark II
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay.
with the LA 2A on it and
Yeah.
the 610 preamp. Yeah, and hooked it up for the first time on a new project, and yeah, something was wrong with it, man. It was heartbreaking.
This is a good one we got up next here. So the Slate VMS, the
Oh,
virtual microphone system, I guess.
yeah.
This is probably, I would say probably, this is the craziest thing that I've seen in pro audio in maybe the past 10 years.
Probably, yeah. I'd
uh,
say that's for sure.
I mean, for those who don't know or haven't seen it, been under a rock, it's the Slate's converter and microphone that you get that connects to, not connects, but the plug-in that comes with the hardware. It's going to be a bundle of hardware and software, and the hardware or the software, similar to what you were saying what UA does, models different mics and preamps. So basically, Slate is saying you don't have to go out and spend money on mic pre's and microphones anymore because they're going to give you a plethora of mics and pre's and the software to choose from.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say about this product because it's so far out there and crazy. I do remember, man, years ago, before I even got into engineering seriously, I remember seeing a plug-in that modeled different microphones.
The Antares thing,
Is that
right?
what it was? I have no idea what the name
Mic
of it.
modeler or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Um, I guess in a way it's kind of that, but man, to rely so much on a plug-in, I don't know. For those of us who purchase gear, it's just it's kind of a crazy concept. I guess if you didn't have anything and you're starting off, you would think, okay, oh, this is perfect for me. But I don't know. It's just something about analog.
Yeah. Um, I know one thing. They say specifically that it's not like that Antares type thing. There's somebody else did it too, I believe. I can't remember, but they say it's not. What they did was kind of like convolution and EQ curve type deal, the Antares, and they say this isn't completely different technology and everything. The VMS, it doesn't even operate, or the software doesn't do the same things. It's completely different. But yeah, it's interesting. At, the thing that I seen most interesting was a lot of people talking about it on YouTube, thinking it was going to be around the $500 range,
Oh no.
500 to $1,000, and this. I'm like, it's going to be at least 1,500, and sure enough, it's what, 2 grand,
Yeah.
which is fair. I mean, it's a 2-channel high-end preamp with converters, because it runs straight in SPDIF, I believe, straight digital or analog, but they prefer digital with their pristine converter, supposedly. But yeah, it looks interesting.
I mean, if I had $2,000, I don't see myself buying that option.
Yeah, I don't. I'd have to try it, and it'd really have to blow me away. I tell you that, because I don't know. It's true. Like
I'm gonna also say,
a plug-in modeling your whole chain. I don't know if it. I mean, their plugins are great, but can they do that?
I will say that if Slate came out with this 3, 4 years ago, um, I don't think anybody would really care. But he's got such a big following now that for him to try to pull something like this off, it's the perfect time now.
Exactly. That's a good point too.
I mean, he may have had this idea years ago, but unless it's he definitely at this point has fanboys out there.
Oh yeah.
So but man, I'm curious if he will sell the plugin by itself. Um, I guess you can make the case that it's not going to work correctly without the hardware. But I don't know. I kind of feel like clean is clean. So you say that the mic is flat, the pre is clean, it's flat. I feel like I can purchase that on my own. I can purchase a flat mic and a flat pre um, for cheaper than $2,000, in my opinion.
Maybe.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, the one thing I've seen, you do get it comes with a vocal style condenser, and then you get like a little pencil mic type thing with it too.
that is true. Yeah, you get two mics.
So
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I'd have to try it, and it'd have to like blow me away. I mean, like shooting it out against other stuff, and it wins every time type thing, and I don't know.
So in a way, it feels like the compressor, not the compressor, the pre and the mic is extra add-ons because it feels like what you're really getting it for is the plug-in.
Yeah, yeah, that pretty much the plugins doing all the work. That's that's true. That's definitely true. Plugins doing well. It's not doing all the work, but it's what's making the character.
Right. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see where that
I'm
where that
I'm
goes.
interested in their the plug-in that it inserts into that virtual mix rack or whatever. I might grab that because the Duendes aren't AAX and probably never will be. So I probably might grab that, but it looks like a really interesting product. They're even gonna update VCC to where you can insert. Have you seen the mix rack plugin?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, they're even going to make VCC to where you can insert VCC modules right in the strip and save, you can save presets of a whole strip or whatnot.
That's going to be interesting too. I wasn't. I mean, when I looked at it, I was like, it was cool, but I don't know. It's not something that really excites me because I feel like I have enough plugins and it's funny because it's like he already knew people would say that because he mentioned that in the video.
Exactly.
To say how much better these were.
And you know what? They considered that from the start because before that plugin was even talked about, like on forums and stuff, I was one of the ones asking for it. We got the console, the bus compressors, give us strips. Console strips and compressors. And one of their beta testers actually messaged me and was like, well, isn't the waves enough? Like, what more do you want? Not challenging me, but kind of like asking, like, what could we do more than what everybody else has? And
that's for you to figure out.
Yeah, and I was just like, well, what y'all did with everything else beats everything else out, in my opinion. You could probably beat the waves, and then, 6 months to a year later, all of a sudden it pops up.
This got the rack has a different, it's a different take on it, different spin on it because it's I guess as they compared it to 500 series. I'm gonna hate it when people start saying that I don't need 500 series because I've got this. They already think they don't need analog summing because of VCC, and I'm not even gonna get into how that's not analog summing, but
yeah.
I see that already coming. Oh, you got 500 series? I've got the Slate virtual rack. I don't need 500 series. Oh, okay. Let's see. Next thing we got on here is the Behringer X Touch, which quickly turned into a kind of a bash fest online because people. Behringer has a lot of haters out there. I think it's a really cool product. X Touch is a full dock controller that they've got 3 models. They got the flagship one is $599. The next one down is $399, and I think the one below that maybe like $200. Let's just mainly talk about the flagship one. Motorized faders, LCD display, so you can see the name of the tracks. I think it's a really cool product. I'm really interested in one. I know we're all waiting for PreSonus to make a DAW controller for Studio One.
Yeah.
Till they decide to do one, this might be the substitute. I mean, 600 isn't bad to me. People talk about the quality of Behringer, but I mean, the thing is not passing audio. So I will say I had the C is it the CF 2000?
BCF or something like that.
Yeah, I had one of those. I quickly got rid of it and got a fader port, but the reason I didn't like it, the motorized faders were too noisy, and there was no LCD display for me to see what track I was on. I would get lost really quick using that. So both of those have been, well, I say both of them. I don't know about the motorized faders, but having the LCD display to see the track, that has been solved in this product. I wonder. Can't remember. I'm sure Behringer is at Sweetwater for Gear Fest, but I can't wait to see one up close so I can see in person just the size of it,
Yeah.
how big it is. Um, I will also say, kind of off topic, but the soft tube console one um, is something I'm really interested in. I will say that versus a dock controller. I would honestly rather have hardware control over my plugins than have a control surface for faders and knobs. How do you feel about that? Which would you prefer to have control over
You
physically,
know,
knobs or plugins?
the I prefer I really want both, but the idea of like a console one and just like a fader port is that sounds really cool. I never even well I did think about that, but I was thinking about like something like a artist mix and a console one, but that's true, man. Put the console one right in front of you and just a fader port, and that would be a nice little setup. But the X Touch, man, that thing, I don't know why people are hating on it so much because if you look at the facts, um, they've clearly tried to change their ways ever since they came out with the X32. They bought Midas. They put out a bunch of videos about their new facilities, and I was actually blown away at how big their factory is and all the stuff they have there. And I think they learned from the horrific faders on that BCF unit, and you know, those boards are designed to be used in the professional live world, and the MIDI controllers, not only being DAW controllers, they're designed to work with those boards also. So they're kind of basically the same build, the same type setup. Like, I don't know if you heard them talk about that. You can literally plug one of those right into a X32 and just extend your fader count.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. And it has the exact same scribble strips and everything. One thing I'm wondering, will you be able to how they have the little pictures you can put on the scribble strip? I wonder if that's going to be usable in the DAW mode or what.
That's a good
Because
question.
they have like little, you can put pictures of drums and all types of stuff right on there. They're kind of like high res scribble strips.
It's really going to be interesting, and I don't think anything is in that price range as far as it's eight faders.
Yeah, no, nothing's in that. All you really have is the Mackie MCU and the Avid slash Euphonics artist mix,
Which is $1,000.
or 1250 now.
Oh, they went up. They did go up.
Oh yeah, when Avid bought them, they instantly boosted the price up $250, which I didn't understand, but
I don't see I don't see it yet on the site, but yeah, there's not many fader DAW controllers out there.
yeah, that's why, like, I've been saying that for so long. There's like this huge hole in the DAW controller thing, and this, like, I can't believe nobody's seen it for so long. Somebody finally came out with something. Like, to me, it's basically, I mean, obviously, it uses the same protocol as a Mackie controller. It has the exact same button setup, everything. It's basically, the same as those. I wouldn't doubt that that's the one, the whole key. I just want to know who made the faders. Are they Alps? Because if they're Alps faders, it's basically the exact same thing as a Mackie. I mean, the Mackie has Alps faders. They're using the same protocol, except the Behringer has Ethernet, and it's even better in my opinion. I don't care what name's stamped on it. I care what it is.
Definitely. I'm excited for it. moving on to the next, we got the M Audio Trigger Finger Pro, which at first glance to me looks like a machine with a step sequencer on it almost.
Yeah.
And what's the deal with M Audio? Didn't they get purchased by
In Music.
Yeah.
The same company that owns Akai.
Oh.
And I cringed the first time I heard that. They bought Air Instruments too.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. They've done cool stuff so far, so especially Air, they've released all their plugins and VST and updates. But yeah, the trigger finger, that's what I thought at first. Is this a machine competition of some kind, or? But where it's different for me is it's actually a MIDI sequencer. Like you can completely disregard their software. Like it's first the machine itself has an internal, you can save patterns in the machine. It's an actual MIDI sequence that you can sequence anything MIDI. It's not just a controller for a software sequencer is what I'm getting at. Which is that's pretty cool. And you can save different sequences and all type of stuff. One thing I've seen cool about their software, now they're saying, I'm not going to take it too serious yet because I've seen In Music's people, I don't want to say lie, but not really know what they were talking about before at NAMM. But they're saying that that the software, like how in Machine you load a plugin and it's instantly mappable, or it's instantly mapped to your knobs, and you go into the browser and you can browse any patch of any native instruments plugin. Well, they're claiming that once you scan your VSTs in, that you can basically do that workflow with any VST that you can scan, not from the hardware though, just from the sock. So it's kind of like, I don't know.
It's a pretty big claim.
Yeah, they're claiming, they're kind of saying like the software is like a central hub where you can like search all your plugin presets at one time or something like that. And it has the MIDI sequencer. Other than that, it's just a MIDI controller to me. Looks like it has a nice little sound set they're giving with it, but
I don't know when's the last time I haven't been paying attention, but to see a step sequencer built onto something, that's kind of different for me. I will say from this picture, it looks kind of small to me. Pads look kind of small. Those faders look small.
It's not that small. Well, I don't know. Did you watch any of the videos? It doesn't look that small on video. It looks about the size of a machine, possibly.
A machine or a machine micro?
Like a full-size machine almost. Yeah, I did think that was pretty interesting, the fact that it has a MIDI sequencer, because I kind of like the fact that I could just load up Battery 4 and start like popping out a little MIDI sequence right on there, or even a hardware unit or whatever. That's pretty cool. Even though I already have Machine, but I love using Battery sometimes too.
The price for this is $399, which is more than the Machine Micro. Tough sale.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be for a different type of person. I think it's gonna be more for like a guy that has like a hybrid hardware software VI type setup where they can use the sequencer with like analog drum machines and stuff like that. I see people like that possibly buying it. One thing I did see too, not because Akai and M Audio are both by owned by In Music, the swing on the sequencer and all in the note repeat is the MPC swing. So the guy says on the video, but
I didn't catch that.
yeah, on one of see, that's one of the things he may have just said that, but on one of the videos, their rep said that it was MPC swing.
Well, I can't. This is the only picture they've got of it. Yeah, no, yeah, if I see another picture, that might be. No, this is tempo. I don't see a note repeat.
I think they call it roll or something.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, it's definitely not called note repeat. But
Let me, if I can zoom in on this. I think that says tempo. Yeah, this says tempo. I don't see anything. Oh, roll. Okay, I do see roll.
yeah. One thing that is cool about you get Hybrid 3 from Air Instruments, and I watched a demo of that, and they really stepped it. I always liked Hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
They really stepped it up with that. They had a couple new things, but they completely went in and redid all the presets, and there's hundreds of them, and they all sound really great. Like, I'm not a big preset user when it comes to synths, but like, let's be honest, that's why Silent is so popular. It's because of the presets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you put a synth, when you initialize a synth, it's a saw wave.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's be honest. All these VIs are like 80% the same.
Let's see here. Let's see what we got next. Here's the Clariphonic 500 series. So those familiar with the Kush Audio Clariphonic is now in the 500 series. Looking for the price on it. I'm going to assume that it's maybe around $650. Were you surprised to see this come, or?
I was surprised because didn't they do something like what was that, Electra? Isn't it kind of like an EQ or something?
It is an EQ, yeah.
When they came out with that, I thought, okay, they're not doing the Clariphonic in 500 series.
You would have thought that the Clariphonic would have came first.
Yeah. And then when it came out, I figured, maybe it don't, because some things just don't fit in 500 series.
Right.
But yeah, that's a big one. They're mono, right? Don't you need two of them for stereo, or?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure this is. I'm looking at trying to pull up a picture of it now.
Yeah, the Clariphonic is. I use their plugins, and I love them.
I forgot that was in a plug-in.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, even Greg from Kush will tell you the plugin's not exactly the same as the hardware. He'll even tell you that himself, but it's still a really great plugin.
I forgot all about that. Now he was at Summer NAMM a few years ago, and he gave me a demo of the Clariphonic, and I came away very impressed.
Yeah. Videos. Those are some of the most impressive videos online as far as gear type demos, because a lot of demos don't come across online.
No, yeah.
Especially with summing. these people go on and they watch a video on YouTube about analog summing, and they're like, I didn't hear nothing. And it's like, you're not gonna hear it on YouTube, man. You're not.
Let's see. Yeah, this yeah, okay, I can tell. Yeah, they're a single. It's a single it's a single space 500 series, so it's not a dual. So yeah, you would need two for stereo. Um, I don't see the price on them, but I don't even see them listed on Vintage King or Sweetwater, so I guess they're not really ready to ship.
Yeah.
I guess they're just coming soon. They what's interesting is the way that the Clariphonic is the whole, you don't have frequencies on there. You've got more of just names of what you're what you're doing, the shimmer, silk, sheen.
Yeah.
Like under this advertisement, it says Clariphonics, the world's most adorable high-frequency equalizer. I don't know about that. But yeah, this is it's not a surprise to me. Like we said, I thought it would have came sooner. Interesting to see how it would work along with the Electra, with the Electra being more of a surgical EQ in a way.
Yeah, I bet they're great together.
Let's see. It's gonna bring us to our last topic. Is that Studio One 2.6.2 was announced at NAMM. Very minor update. It only added a few new features. I was more impressed with the fixes that went on. I thought about doing a video for it, but I ultimately just decided that the changes just weren't that great for me to do a video explaining everything. Pull up Presonus site here. So yeah, the three new features that was added: the recent 10 autosave saves to the version list. Autosaves with Melodyne is much faster. That is awesome because I had a mix I did where I literally had to tune the whole vocal on the entire song, and it really bogged down the autosave.
Oh, I hate that.
It bogged it down to the point where I had to disable autosave because it was messing up my workflow.
I wish they would do away with that. That's probably the one gripe, maybe the one gripe I have about Studio One, as far as what I don't like, is that the way that auto save thing kind of like pauses for a sec. You can't do nothing for that split second, and sometimes it is a second or two, depending on what you got going on.
Yeah, it's never been a problem for me. It has stopped for maybe a second, whatever, okay. But man, with the Melodyne, I mean, it bogged it down to where it was taking 10 seconds, 15 seconds to save, and I was like, I can't do this. 15 seconds later, I forgot the EQ move I was about to make, or
exactly
I was gonna make. The third feature that they added was improved window handling, always on top. Not 100% sure what that means. I'm assuming that the Studio One always, that the main range always stays in focus. Maybe not 100% sure what that one meant. But as far as the fixes that came along with it, to me were huge because one of the biggest ones to me was that the audio device selection no longer lost after system reboot. That says for Mac only. That drove me crazy because if I restarted the computer or quit Studio One sometimes, when I would relaunch it, it would, for whatever reason, reset to my built-in output, which would drive me crazy when I hit play and I hear this little itty-bitty audio coming out, and I'm like, where is this? What's going on here? And I've kind of gotten used to it now. I'm like, oh, I got to go back and switch it to interface. But yeah, the changes I made. You got a chance to use 2.6.2 yet?
Yeah. I loaded it up last night, and I did notice some things were a little bit better. I didn't get to go through the whole list yet and actually see, and yeah, that sounds like some good fixes there.
I mean,
Um,
we got
the whole would you say it saves the past 10 auto saves in the folder now?
yeah, the auto saves now save to the version list,
Oh, okay.
which is cool. I wish, which I just my last video was on that on saving different song versions. I wish you could easily be able to see which version you have loaded right now. That's just kind of a
Yeah,
that's a huge
that's another gripe I had. When
yeah.
you say, I noticed the same thing. Like when you save a new version, it's like if you go back, I don't know how to really explain it. It's just like the list acts funny or something.
You can get lost in which version you're actually in because it doesn't
Exactly.
show you what version you're in,
Yeah.
and that's me. That's an easy fix to me. I mean, they can just put it up at the top where you got the name of the session. That's
Yeah.
simple. But maybe we'll who knows? I mean, I don't know if we're going to get another update again before 3.0, but hey, that may be 3.0. I don't know. Is thing about Studio One? I've never really looked forward to new DAWs. Like if Avid was like the new version of Pro Tools is coming, I'm kind of like so. Uh, but Studio One, like I'm anxious to see what they put in 3.0.
Yeah. Me too. You know, one thing that a little out of the box that I'd like to see, because the Melodyne integration was out of the box, when they first did that. It would be really cool if they could implement Vocaline, something like Vocaline,
That would
like
be awesome.
right into the DAW. You know what I mean? Now that would be cool.
Oh, man, I may need to send Presonus a tweet on that one.
Yeah,
That would be awesome.
yeah, Melodyne and Vocaline integration.
Yeah, that would. Oh man, that would be. That'd be so useful.
Yeah, I just thought of that one. I was thinking of things they could do to really blow us away, and I was like, that could be one of them for sure.
I mean, in every they typically blow me away when they come out with a new update because the whole when I was at Summer NAMM, not this year, or not last year, but the year before that, was when they launched the whole Nimbit thing, and I had no idea about it because I was at NAMM all day. I didn't see any of the announcements, so I'm at the PreSonus booth, and I'm like, what is this? And I mean, man, everything from you can literally go from recording a project in Studio One. You can go from recording to mixing to mastering to selling it now with Studio One, all through that Nimbit. I mean, he's showing me merchandise you can sell. You can put your
Promoting on SoundCloud and everything.
yeah. I mean, I was like, wait a minute. So I mean, just the fact to take a song from the beginning all the way to the consumer point where you're actually selling it. And then he was telling me how, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but I'm going to say basically selling it on Nimbit is a better deal than selling it on iTunes. You get to keep more of the percentage, I think it is basically. Of course, iTunes is more popular.
Yeah.
But, yeah, PreSonus they really are thinking outside of the box when it comes to their products.
Yeah, I like PreSonus as a company. I always have. I
And
just
last few years, I've been meaning to. I'm gonna try to go this year for sure to get down to PreSonosphere, their Studio One user conference. I hope to get down there this year and check that out.
yeah, I watched all the videos from that. And Khalid Glover did a presentation down there this year. That was pretty cool. At Pre-Sonosphere, a hip hop production course or something. It's on YouTube.
Hmm. Which brings me, nobody, I'm not say nobody, but I mean, also PreSonus, there hasn't been that I can recall user conferences like that for a for DAWs, not sponsored by the company itself.
Yeah.
And now, which is funny, I was at when Pensado was here in Nashville at Belmont University. As I was there, me and the people I was there with were talking about Avid, and it just so happens I get the email from Avid while I was at the event that Avid is doing a customer conference type thing for Pro Tools or for Avid in Vegas. Maybe I don't remember the dates. I didn't really pay attention to it, but it was interesting to me to see them doing that. I said because this is the third or fourth year I think they've done the PreSonosphere.
Yeah.
Down there. See, Avid to me doesn't have the best relationship with its users. This would be
No.
hate them.
Avid is. No, anybody that charges you to call them to ask a question about a product you just bought is, I don't know about that.
Especially when you spend that much money on the product.
I mean, I still love Pro Tools, but I hate Avid.
Yeah, their user conference. Actually, I wonder. I didn't look more into it, and now mention that I wonder if it costs because PreSonosphere is free.
It probably does. It's probably $100 entrance fee.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta submit an old Mbox 2 or something.
Yeah, that's gonna wrap up our NAMM hangout because we'll do one again for we might do something for GearFest maybe. I normally or not normally, but last year I did a 5-minute video just recapping what I saw there. I may try to do something live there if I can. I'm trying to think of another event coming up. Nashville might have the recording workshop. I think in between now and GearFest, and there's a Mix Nashville. I forget when that is. I think it's summer as well. Yeah, we'll be back with another hangout soon. I want to also get into get the guys together and just do some random hangouts just on some random topics as well. I think would be good. Everything from I'm not talking the normal stuff of what gear we use and how we use it, but I'm talking more stuff like how we deal with clients and just some of the not so popular stuff that we can get into and probably have some good discussions about. Let's see here, but
yeah, that would be cool though.
I'll definitely let you know when we if we put that together. But as I say, y'all, I'm Czar, and you can find me on Twitter at AudioZar901. My website there listed below, and AudioZar.net on YouTube. Deryk, tell them where they can find you at.
You can hit me up on Facebook. Just find me, Deryk Moates. I got a website on the way. Y'all be promoting that soon, so it's in the works as we speak. So, yeah, just find me on Facebook if you need to.
All right. Appreciate y'all hanging with us, and we'll be back with y'all next time.
Yeah.